InnerVision, taking you to a new level of Christian radio. www.innervisionrecords.org, the official website of InnerVision.
Send us feedback, requests.
Help spread the word about local musicians. We are InnerFM.
InnerVision FM, as we do another show in the series of just different topics, and we're always interested in your feedback. Remember, you can catch our top 20 countdown on InnerVision FM on KUBO 92.9 on the FM dial every Friday at 6 p.m. and every Sunday at 9 a.m. Also, you can catch us on KUHS Denver, and that is every Sunday at 1 to 3, and then 24/7 on InnerVision FM. And then, of course, YouTube channel and my speaker. We want you to, as you listen to this, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and follow us as well on InnervisionRecords.org on Facebook. Now, today or tonight or whenever you are listening to this, we have a fantastic guest on our show this time around, and she is a spiritual guide. I want to welcome to the show Cheryl Rose. So welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Johnny J.
Yeah.
Cheryl Rose here, and I thank you so very much for allowing me the privilege to be on your show and have your wonderful audience embrace this. It's just great to be here.
Oh, thank you very much. At what age did you know that you had this gift?
At a very young age, I would say I was about 4 or 5. And I spoke to my mom and told her I could see and hear what I felt was an angel or a friend. Someone definitely was telling me, let's play, let's have a good time, let's have fun. And it was not anything out of the blue for her. She just said, that's great. Keep talking to that person. Is it a he or she? And slowly but surely, as I got a little bit older, I realized a lot of people in my family had a gift of second sight, or however you would like to think about it. But I knew at a very young age I had something that was, retrospectively looking back, unique, and thank God it was embraced. It was not covered up and, don't speak like that. That's not normal. Thank heavens it wasn't, because I've helped so many people along the way as I developed the ability. It's an ability, a gift, and the spirit guides and angels I was seeing and feeling. It had to be 4 or 5, because I remember being so small and I couldn't really tie my shoes well, and I had learned to tie my shoes that year, and that's my big memory. The shoe tying.
So it's almost like
they were helping me out.
Yeah. So it's almost like musicians. It's in the family, and then a child will take it maybe to the next level, but it was somewhere in the family that they knew that this had happened before, and they embraced it rather than push it away. That's what it sounds like.
Correct. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, Johnny. Yes. Yes, okay. And my grandmother, Rose, who is the Rose in the Cheryl Rose name, actually was constructive in helping me along the way understand with questions and answers without any books or computer or cell phone available, just her experiences and what I could expect and what I should do or think I should do or choices I could make.
Yeah, because I'm assuming
luckily I had her.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm assuming that it was nowhere where you can go to the library and say, okay, let's pick up a book on this topic.
Exactly. Nobody spoke of it, and if they did, it was almost a carnival-like attitude. Oh, charlatans or gypsies, fortune with lame turbans or the big earrings, and they're going to take your money and feed you a line of BS so that you can come back. And I had found out that this is something I have to fight against, because it's an enemy of stigma. What people thought. They didn't embrace. The 60s was good for embracing, get out of my own mind. They didn't realize that Spirit was trying to tell them, we're here.
Now, this is not in my question, but I just now thought about this. Coming along, because I was always into stuff that other kids weren't into. I like to watch the news and stuff like that, and couldn't talk to my parents and couldn't talk to other kids because they were into playing, and my parents said, well, kids shouldn't be talking about the news. They should be doing something else. How did you find other people that you could connect with outside your family, or was it pretty much like nobody really understood, like other children didn't understood, but of course I guess your family did, but outside the family, did people understand, or was that something that you even brought up?
That's such a beautiful, beautiful, great question. I answer that with great respect because, yes, I had tried to talk to other kids in school, and I was laughed at and sort of made fun of, meant to feel a little, I wasn't bullied, I was just ignored, being different. And some children, I just said, don't say anything, and my family said, well, talk to us, and unfortunately there were no other children to speak with, nobody else, no other group. There were no other schools of education to talk about. It was undercover as far as I knew. And to their great respect, I say, they told me, talk to God. Talk to the one who created you and ask, and they will give you the answers, the spirits, the angels, whatever is coming towards you. And I considered it angel school. And they gave me the answers. My family said, ask God to help you because we don't want to give you the wrong answer. And they understood what it was to be quiet and have a sort of people look at you different, even though we dress the same way, or it was an uncomfortable feeling. And I was, I'm a very intelligent girl. We were brought up to have outside curricular activities like you would, news and journalism, and that was very interesting to me, but difficult. Piano playing, art classes, things of that nature, dancing, anything creative I loved, music. And then I started to find some people's mothers were a little out of the ordinary and into kind of hippie stuff. And they would say, like, blessings to you, namaste. Ooh, what's this? And I would see it in small places, Johnny, but it wasn't like it is today. You can go online and talk to a person like me, at any moment, and hear us discussing this and educating others that what they might have, they think they might have, knocking at their door. It's already built inside them. They don't have to use it, but if they do use it, let's use it wisely. And what is it for?
And now, and now I've noticed there were people that if I would have known that they were around when I was, I guess, 13 or whatever, it would have made a big difference. But I found out that, because our community is not connected, where if you say, okay, my child has this, oh, there's somebody in New York or there's somebody in California, it wasn't, we weren't connected like that. But those people were there going along that journey. And even I went to this church, it was called Happy Church at the time, and I found out a lot of spiritual truths, and they were developing their spiritual gifts as well, but I didn't meet up with them until I was 24. Were there people that you met up, or groups that you met up with later on, that they were there, but you just didn't have the internet, you didn't have these resources to find them, but then when you look back, you say, wow, you guys were there, and I wish I would have known about you, during this time. But
well, when I had asked, I said, God, in kids' terminology, show me the way, help me understand what the heck's going on here. I was enjoying my development because it was during dreams and just looking at them straight across the kitchen table from me. And my grandparents had people after church come to the kitchen table and say, she'll read you. She can answer your questions. I was still little, 6, 7, 8 years old in this frame of mind where nobody knew what was going on with me, but me, and asking questions. They knew I had something happening. Word of mouth spread. Somebody had said, there's this place out in Arizona these people go to. There's these vortexes, or people would find other people. And it was few and far between, but I had something called the Encyclopedia Britannica. All 12 issues of the Encyclopedia Britannica. And I looked up Scottsdale, Arizona, places of that nature, like Sedona. And I saw and wrote, I just say, I was embraced by, wow, I've got to get out there one day. And when I did finally get there, I was maybe about 18, 19, a family trip, and we did go out to the west, and I was out in Sedona, Scottsdale, and I felt the energy. And I saw how many people out there were similar, but they were telling me I had growth. And they sort of sent me on a pathway of learning, but continue doing what you're supposed to be doing. But they were very skeptical of such a young person. They had never seen somebody so small, young, so advanced in, I say it humbly, advanced in nature with the psychic abilities and clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairenscient, and knowing what was happening around me, but really not understanding 100% yet. Being inquisitive about the planets and astronomy and astrology were in books. I thoroughly embraced myself with reading what I could, but going to those places and seeing people happened very infrequently. But when I got those names and places, I looked it up, and then we finally got there because I said, I'm going to go to that place. We didn't have the money at the time as kids growing up. My parents were divorced and times were very hard. We got through. In retrospect, it was really nothing. But we eventually got out to Midwest, and I was late teens, just had graduated high school, going to college, and I was so embraced with, wow, the energy is different. The people are different. They're not talking about it, but there's these classes I can go to, or crystals I can touch, and stores that were different. And I started to get out into real reading of people and healing of people and talking to people from all over the country. It just happened, bing, bang, boom. From then on, from the teens on, I started doing my stuff, I call it. And I wasn't what I am now, but I started getting hundreds of people under my belt, hundreds of readings under my belt, and thousands of readings. And I really wasn't making money. I wasn't about the money. I was about, this is great fun for me.
Now, for the people,
answering questions at the same time.
Yeah, for the people that just joined us, this is InnervisionFM, and I'm talking to Cheryl Rose, and Spirit Guide, and she's just running us a little bit through like her journey. And when you were telling me about that, there are probably missing books of the Bible. And when Jesus was 12, he was talking to the scribes and Pharisees, and they were saying, like, how did this young kid get all this knowledge? And they were fascinated as well. And parents said, hey, come back. We were looking for you, because they had lost track of him, and they went about a day's journey before they realized that he was missing. They went back, and they picked him up.
Yes.
And it's almost like you're explaining that journey that's probably is missing from the Bible about his journey, and knowing that his mother knew he was special. He had a gift, and he started developing that gift along the way. And even 2,000 years ago, there was no internet, of course.
Amen. and amen to that, to what you're saying. Oh, so a tear of joy in my eye. Yes.
Yeah. And sometimes when I read the Bible, I read it a little bit different than a lot of people, and I don't really discuss it with a lot of Christians, because I don't see them go in that direction. Because when in the book of John, when they ask John, are you Elijah? And he says, no, I'm not. He said, are you this past apostle? He says, no, I'm not. And he never said, hey, you guys, there's no such thing as me being one of those people. He just said, no, I'm not. And I always thought that was
Right.
that was fascinating, that he wouldn't say, "Hey, you guys, what are you talking about? I'm John the Baptist. I'm here." He just said, "No, I'm not." So when I listen to you, I see this the people who are around you, maybe they hadn't read the Bible and they didn't put all that stuff together to say she's going on the same journey as she's not Jesus, but she's going on the same journey that Jesus went through, and other people in that realm. And then maybe a lot of people weren't sharing it because, to the wider population, they put this jacket on you, or they look at you strangely, or they disconnect from you because they don't know how to develop their gift, and their eyes are closed
Correct.
to it. So
Correct. And Johnny, do I love you, and I hug and kiss you from afar. You got it straight, and that's exactly it. Because we'll talk later how I was on the other side and came back, what I saw, what happened to me. But you are saying exactly in the Bible what was happening. The mothers, hurry up, kids, get back. Where are you going to that strange person? Right? The fear factor of unknowing. When people are scared and fearful, that's because they aren't uneducated about it. When they understand it, they can make a better decision. Okay, I'm not scared. I know that's for me or not for me, right? You get the people who say, Cheryl, she's actually, quoting things from the Bible, or she says stuff from the Bible, or something in the Bible comes. Well, before I do a reading, there's a blessing, and it might not be a specific church's type blessing that I particularly have strayed away from, because I don't like that rigidity or conformity that tells people like me we're not wanted. See, the fear factor. We need to embrace and say thank you to Creator. And I say, you call that Creator whatever you like. People like to call him or whatever. I'm not going to stop your growth. I'm going to say, make sure you know what I'm saying is from high above, from the creation of God. I'm using now, God created me to be the telephone line, or the individual people could come to for education as to what's going on in their lives and how come and what's happening here and what's the answer, what's the best direction, because I'm guiding them through spirit. And I'm not using a Bible and saying do or do not. I'm saying he gave you the free will, or whatever, whoever gave you the free will, but we're educating and we're giving you second chance here now to make it right with karma. But you have to have something to hold on to in this lifetime, because whatever I'm saying won't make a difference if you don't have a belief system in order.
Right. Now, do you think that? Do you think that anyone can develop this gift? But most people, do they have to be like in a quiet place, and with all the hustle and bustle of making a dollar and whatever, it's hard to get into that level? Or some people, like, they go into into fasting, and that gets your attention, because then you take away the distraction of eating all the time, and then you have that inner brain that can now concentrate on the brain on your head and connect together to bring you to that inner circle to bring that out. But most of us, we don't dare to try to reach in that deep. And so therefore,
correct.
Yeah, it seems like it's harder for just the average Joe to reach in if he's not willing to make that sacrifice and pull himself away from all the distractions.
Correct. And, with fasting, that's an act of getting yourself prepared mindset. The mindset of, I'm going to overcome a goal, or of overcome the goal of having an addiction, let's say. The goal of the addiction is going away. See, overcome the goal of the addiction. Or I'm going to do this meditation so that I can get closer to know who I am, and what these spirits are saying, or how to get to the level that I am at and doing what I'm doing, opening up the portals to see, feel, hear, and say, or to be able to relate, or even get to a certain point in life. The act of fasting, the act of stating, I'm going to do this, I'm setting a goal, any specific way to get to want to grasp and understand the point that you're trying to make is the step toward the right way. Yes. I'm not going to walk on fiery hot coals to prove a point, because that would be foolish. People might ask that question. Oh, I have to walk on fire. No. Fasting is something that I think is great. People find a lot of hope in there because Jesus was fasting. Fasting has always done great things for those. Jews fast for certain holidays, and it's a ritual, but it also is a mindset, a body set, a soul set, and a spiritual set that I am going to do this act in order to get myself to a specific place to reach the knowledge. And you will be given the knowledge. And because you've asked and done that little step, which is so hard, getting there. And I say you can get there if you don't want to fast, if you're nervous. I do the spiritual meditation, privately or in a group, publicly speaking, or over the radio like I'm doing now, which I think many people are going to find so wonderful because they are a little bit nervous, and there's not a lot of places that you can find something like this. To listen to spiritual guidance to get you to a place that you can reach what you want to reach.
Now,
there's many forms of what you're saying with fasting, and I go with the most positive that are going to make you feel comfortable and not weary of how am I going to come out on the other side. Your goal is to come out educated and feeling great, that you're blessed.
Are there
the positive side?
Are there some people that they get afraid when they get that close? Because I got to this point where I could feel like this like peace. It's like, people say like they get high in these drugs, but I can get that to that state in so many like natural ways, like with the fasting or just doing a juice green fast juicing, and you get to that place where you have that almost like a high. But it's not drug induced. It's just all natural. Do people sometimes they pull back when they're finding like, wow, what is this? And they become afraid. Have you run across people like that? And then how do you get them over the hump?
Yes.
Of that.
I tell them beforehand, if you think you're going to get a little afraid when you get to feel something new, talk about it. Voice it, because it might happen. It's new, especially for those who I work with who have been down some unsavory roads in life or abused in many ways, shapes and forms. The feeling of love and embrace from spirit, angels, is intense. And it's a beautiful feeling. And when you haven't had it or never experienced such a dimension of being yourself in a place and state of mind that is so, thank God it's there, it's real. As I explain on my YouTube, Cheryl Rose Spirit Guidance, I state, when you get there, you're going to feel such beauty, love, and happiness. But if you fear, talk about it. Don't be fearful, but talk about it. I was a little nervous. I am scared, but it's going to be okay because you know what? In advance, I told them, these are the things that could come across your mind. Yes, I have. And some people have pushed through that fear because they decided I'm going to go forward and not be afraid. And then they got better and better at it. Some are even helping others to embrace their own selves, not being afraid to travel down that road and meditate a little bit. Get to that feeling of unrequited love from God. And that is just a piece of the love that is felt when you pass on to the heavenly abode.
Now tell me, when I watch, when I watch some of your YouTube videos, I noticed that you use cards. Did you learn that, or how did you incorporate that, and how does that play into just guiding people when you're using the cards?
Cards, I can read cards without looking at them. I just feel what Spirit says. The cards I started out on the YouTube, the first couple of videos without cards. And I say I don't need them, but people like to see something in front of them that makes sense and can be explanatory. The tarot is just one type of card, regular playing cards, any type of card. But sometimes people need to see and feel meaning. When I'm speaking of, let's say, okay, the Taurus is definitely going to look at the Chariot, and the Chariot, I talk about new energy coming in. I see, feel, say it with great conviction. New energies coming in within the next 2 weeks for the Taurus. Then all of a sudden, I'll turn the card over. It'll be the Chariot. And then I'll hold it up and I'll say, see, the Chariot, this particular card means new energy is coming your way. It's opening the new door. So what we're doing is the cards are divination tools to get deeper meaning and explanation to the person who is being read. Also, the cards are misread a lot of the times, and you can read it for face value, but you better know what you're doing if the person's in peril, But the cards I had to do, I say I had to do because that's what people really like to see on the YouTube. They enjoy seeing the cards laid out on the table, and sometimes I don't even focus on the cards like other readers do. They have the camera on the cards. I have the camera on me, and the cards are just boom, boom, boom. I just keep going fast, and I'm channeling the whole time, but the card will come out, and I'll say, look, it's the King of Wands, and that would represent something I was just stating, and it's uncanny how it happps.
Yeah. Now,
people like to see something real in front of them, almost like you're drinking orange juice and it's a nice glass of orange juice,
Okay. And I was looking at you have like a lot of views. When did you start this, and was it a slow build up, or was it something that you just started seeing like more and more people like really resonated with it, and then they started coming into your channel?
Well, I have never advertised before. All my life, it was always word of mouth, and I was satisfied with my growth process with people, and knowing so many across the country and internationally. Then YouTube came about, and it's been around for a while, and people started doing YouTube shows, and I said, look at these things. It doesn't look to me, the stigma of the fortune teller is still there. People have to really get with the program if they're going to get help,
Right.
And I had gone through a process that we can talk about later.
And time doesn't permit, so you have to catch part 2 of this interview with Cheryl Rose. And you can give us a call here at 720-324-7278. That's 720-324-7278 to get more information about our show and this guest. Now it's time for InnerVision to sign off for today's show. InnervisionFM. Catch us the next time. God bless.
Isn't it fun to sing along to the radio? If you could help someone else have that same experience and take it to the next level, maybe you would consider donating an old car, RV, truck, or boat. For over 15 years, InnerVision has been helping the physically challenged and grassroots artists to create their music. Using music to heal the world is InnerVision's gift to you, and you can help them to continue by donating your unwanted car, RV, truck, or boat. You'll also receive a tax deduction at the end of the year. Call us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 1-855-500-7433. That's 1-855-500-7433. Charity ID 4015. Your unwanted car, RV, truck, or boat is tax deductible, and it can make a difference right here in Colorado. The artists at InnerVision thank you for your support. Make that call toll-free using InnerVision's Charity ID 4015. Again, the phone number 1-855-500-7433.